all the time, but you know. Okay, there we go. Welcome everybody to coffee. Uh-oh, where is it? Here we go. Coffee. I need a refill and art in the morning. Just saying a little good morning to everybody that's here. I am on my little trippy tripod so I can get right up on our color book page today. We're going to work in Romantic Country at least for about an hour and a half. We'll see how it goes. We might work on something else afterward, but right now I've got my, loose, my camera's, he's on the loose. Trippy's on the loose. So I can get like right up on the picture if I need to. So that's what we're working with today, or well, at least this segment. So real quick, I do have some happy mail from DeMonte. I showed it the Saturday. I did a special impromptu on Saturday, and she sent me a nice card here. She sent me a nice card and a nice little note thanking us for the friendship and the YouTube and the Ustream. And and she also said that she loved the card, but she didn't know it was a birthday card, so she just whited out the birthday part. I love the card because look, it's a watercolor palette. It's a little watercolor palette and brushes. I love it. I do. And then she also sent me, well, I think she's really sending it to Hubs, but I love me some Star Trek. We both love Star Trek. We watched the Star Trek. Well, we had the Star Trek marathons on over the last few days. They've been on the old original ones, and so we just had them on a lot over the weekend, and so we watched some of those. But anyway, she sent me the Star Trek commemorative stamps. And I told her I may not give these to Hubster. Well, you know what? I might keep some of them. I might keep half and give him half. So aren't those cool, guys? Look. So thank you to Monty for that. I loved it. Hey, Juju. Anybody else popping in? Again, I know the chat has been a little bit of a pain. We're going to just try to roll with it. So, yeah, I'm going to try to keep my cord out of the way. Maybe I should put a little piece of tape on his little foot. So I tape the cord down so it's not getting in my way. The camera cord right here so I'm not... There we go. I'll just put a little bit on his foot. See, I'll just tape his little foot up right there. Okay, so we're going to work today in the Romantic Country, and again, I'm on the little trippy tripod, which is, so I can move it and adjust it right up on my page, which is what I want to do, so we can see tiny, details while we're coloring. So what I want to do in Romantic Country, first I'm going to read something about the book. And then we're going to use watercolors. I'm going to use okay, that's bugging me. Why is that not sticking there? Let's fix that because it's going to be loose. Watercolors, and I just used this little Koi watercolor set. I've had it for I don't know how long. And I don't watercolor a lot, but I've been watercoloring more in my color books, especially certain books. So I did some tests in the back of this book to see what really worked, and I found that the watercolor really worked well in this book. But, let me preface it by saying it's like anything else, you want to test because every book is different. Every paper is different, the feel of it and everything like that, but also how much you can get it wet. I never mind my pages buckling some, like we did a whole day on Saturday of washes in the Imagimorphia. And the next thing I want to do in that is all the backgrounds. I want to do the acrylic paint, not the washing, but the painting of the backgrounds. That's what I want to do next in it. And a lot of them will probably be black. Not all of them will, but a fair amount of the backgrounds will be black. So I probably won't, do that on a stream because y'all probably just don't want to see me just paint black backgrounds for hours and hours. So, but when I start working on the actual images, the shading of the things that we washed on Saturday, then I'll do videos on those. So, okay, so on to Romantic Country by Eriy. And it's Kokot, I think is the name of her world, The Land of Beautiful Towering Castles, a fantasy coloring book. Now, I'm going to say again that one of the things about this, one of the things about her book is she drew it all with a toothpick. So I'm going to read her little story here. It has a cover like this, has a sleeve over it, and then it's like a craft paper. Hopefully I don't do a face plant on you guys with Trippy here. If he goes falling forward, I don't want to do a face plant on you. I'm going to try to lean into Trippy. And let me know if I sound really loud, guys, because I am real close up to the microphone, so I don't want to get too loud. Maybe I'll even turn it down just a little bit so I'm not yelling at you guys. So thanks everybody for being here. Okay, so again, it's got like a craft color paper. I don't know what I'm going to do with the cover right now. All right, so her story, it talks a little bit about the story, but let me read what she says here. Okay, I'm going to read what she says here. When I was a child, I loved to fantasize about imaginary land, along with many cute animals and abundant plants. It had a magnificent candle where a princess lived, and a forest where a witch dwelled. Maybe I need to get in my fairy tale reading mode. People lived a truly pleasant life there. In order to imagine such things, I used to gaze at a picture I drew that replicated that fictional world. This book is packed with images of that fantasy land of mine, which I named Kokot. I think that's how she pronounces it. Colored pencils, rollerball pens, colored inks, watercolors. Choose your favorite coloring material, and using a variety of hues, enjoy adding color to your land. Have fun creating your own special romantic country. And then over here, I'm not expecting y'all to be able to read this, guys. I'm just, Before you begin, let me briefly explain that the lines that make up the images in this book, all the images in this book were drawn with a toothpick. It was about 8 years ago that I purchased ink for the first time, but I had carelessly forgotten to buy a dip pen. This incident originally got me started using a toothpick for drawing. Compared to a regular pen, I found that drawing with a toothpick brought about different degrees of thicknesses in my lines and enabled me to draw more warmly and tastefully. Since then, the toothpick has become my favorite drawing tool. I used approximately 700 toothpicks to draw the images in this book. In order to create your own original story while coloring, feel free to follow your imagination and write a story or add lines with your own toothpick. In this way, you'll be able to create your own one-of-a-kind picture book. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed coloring. Now let us have some fun. Eriy. So that is the story of how she started drawing with a toothpick. And again, guys, I will be adjusting the camera, because look, when I put my hand in there, it's going to lighten up. So, and we're going to be using watercolor. All right, so let's get started. Let's find, do I want to start at the beginning? Oh, and then she also has a whole story here. I'm not going to read this, but she has a story about her, maybe throughout, we might read a little bit, but let me just read the first paragraph. Somewhere in the world, there's a small country that doesn't even exist on maps. It's surrounded by the richness of nature, beautiful forests, and expansive lakes. There are also old townscapes and farm villages where time seems to stand still. This land will surely leave you with a memorable impression of its various unique buildings and majestic castles. Kokot is the name of the magical land. And then she goes on to talk about the different areas of it. She starts here with a map, overview of a map. Again, guys, it's going to be a little tricky on the white paper. So we're, Didi, you need to try drawing. Yeah, no, not today. No toothpick drawing for me today. We'll be coloring. Thanks, though. And then here is a little bit more of the detailed map. She's got a compass rose here and all her world, the little map. Here, I'm just trying to, I have my camera on my trippy tripod so I can get up close and personal. And then here's the south part of her world. So just to give you a little bit of a tour. Chapter 1, Hill and Town Overlooking a Clock Tower. So I don't know if I want to start on the first page or if I want to, just skip to a page I like. I haven't, I've only done some tests in the back just to see what supply worked the best on it. And I found, just doing some different color samples in the back, was that watercolors worked really well on here. Now, I haven't done a full-on wash. It will probably buckle up. Most books would if you did a whole page of wash like we did in the Imagimorphia. But like in the Imagimorphia, you can use acrylic paints and other things to flatten it out with large areas of acrylic paint with no water in it. And also, when you use color pencil on top of your washes, that flattens it out as well. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of hold the camera back just a little, just so you can see a little. No, that's not going to work because I'm purposefully zoomed in, so I can't really hold it too far back. So you can see, but it's all a whole world of castles, villages. Of course, I love this one with the clock tower and the inside of the clock tower, the gears and all. We might start with this one. We tease my father-in-law that he can fix anything with a toothpick and a paper clip. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So, I don't know, I might do that one. I'm just kind of flipping through just to give you guys a little bit of a view. And again, because it's white paper, it's wanting to flash out. And I know I'm moving the camera. Don't email me. I'm doing my best to show you guys close-ups of it before we start coloring. And then there's chapter 2, stories of castles. So there's going to be a lot of castles in chapter 2. Inside and outside. Like, look at this dining room here. Isn't that awesome? There's more dining room. I need to go a little faster. Framed pictures, the crests, close-ups of the clothing. Fountains, the trees, and now this one is a village scape with beautiful forests and lakes. Okay, let me switch hands here because I think I can hold it better. There we go, that's better. So I want y'all to be able to see. Windmills, camping out. So there's a lot of different aspects to it. Like this one has mostly nature, in this chapter. The stables. Hope y'all can see. There's a duck on every page. Oh, okay, I did not know that. I know in the very back she has little snippets of each country and each scene. Yeah, look, there's a little duck right there. Right there. Yeah. Now you're looking for the duck. And then a town where genial people live. Okay, I'm trying to not move too much, guys, but I'm trying to, keep it zoomed in for you. Let's see, let's do this. There we go. I keep bumping it. Signs of all the shops, Henry books. Old tea room. Henry Books. The bookshop. Isn't that cool? So anyway, guys, I don't know if I really want to go through the whole book. I'm getting pretty close to... Chapter 5, windmills are a symbol of this village. So there's going to be a lot of windmills in this one. Gardens. There's a whole little tea room here. I hope it's showing up, guys, because it's hard for me to film white paper. And actually the paper is off-white. It's a cream color. So anyway, yeah, I won't go through anymore, but it's, you know, you can see it's a whole world. So let's go back to the clock tower. Here, let's go ahead and do this. All right, so again, for me to have it this close up, guys, for you to see me coloring, I don't know who that is. It must be a sales. I don't even recognize that number. I'm just going to let me move my phone out of the room. I don't know who this is. I don't get many unknown numbers, so when I get an unknown number, especially when I'm streaming, we move it. So, hey Paula. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of back up just a little bit, just enough so that I can start the watercolor process. So what I'm going to do is we're going to use watercolors. And again, I'm kind of leaning him back a little while I color, and then when we get more details, we can come right up on it. I hope this is going to work, guys. Again, it's kind of an experiment. It's just kind of an experiment for me to color this, with the camera this close. So if it doesn't work, we'll go back to that overhang, Just, hey, we don't know till we try, right? Okay, so I'm going to be using a couple things. I'm going to be using my Koi watercolor set, and I'm going to be using my clear color real brush watercolor markers, and I got a little porcelain tray here, although this is a porcelain tray here, and I could use it as well. But for as little as we're doing, at a time, this just works fine. You can just clean this out with a baby wipe. It's just a little porcelain dish to water down your Kuretake watercolor brushes or paints, so that way you can, make it be, thinner, not as vibrant. Okay, then I have a couple different, I did buy a new set of the Pentel brush pens. This is the large one. This, I think, is the medium one. And here's the small one, which is real tiny. We're going to start with, I have one here that's a medium one. This is one that's still pretty good. After a while, they start getting a little flared on the tips, and that's when you need to replace them. Okay, so again, guys, we're going to just probably work today. I'm going to try to do this in 2 segments, maybe about an hour and a half now, and then we'll see how far we get. And because I'm going to leave early today at probably about 12:30. Okay, so let's get crack-a-lackin'. So let's see. I have not planned any of this out. I got my spray bottle here, so I'm just going to go ahead and wet down all my paints that I have right here, and just move that right here to the side. And I think I'm going to do, I think I kind of want some blues. Let's see, do I want blues? I want it to be happy. I don't want it to necessarily be all grays, because we do a lot of gray gears and other things. So I think I want this clock tower to be more bright and vibrant, and hopefully we're focused, guys. Seriously, I'm doing my best here. Doing my best. Okay, so I'm going to just mix up. I'm going to do some, I think I'll do some teals, and then I'll do some some olive greens and yellow ochre and teal. I think those will be the colors we'll go with. So I just have, some water here, and I'm just going to wet it down even some more. Okay. Oh, I do need to get a Kleenex though. Hang on, guys. To dry off, clean off when it gets too much, or I need to clean the brush. Kleenexes just seem to work better than anything else. If y'all have any questions, put them in caps. Okay. All right, so here we go. Oops, got a little smear of water there. All right, so I think I'm going to start with the large areas, like the big background areas, to be in the teal color. And I did do a test in the back. Like I said, I found that this book works really well with watercolor. Now, what I want to do is I want to make it not, if I want a flat color, I'll use acrylic. So because of the nature of watercolor, if you want it to look watercolory, you kind of leave it blobby like this to make it look watercolor-like. If I want a flat, opaque color, then I could just use acrylic paint. So I want it to be modeled like that. You know what I mean, Vern? If you have any questions, put them in caps. So I'm just using some tealy colors. And this is just the initial wash on. You can go like I did on the Anamorphia. I showed you how you can, if you have a start with a wash, you can go in there and start adding shadows. And obviously we're not going to finish this whole thing in a couple of hours. So, but I want to show you all how to at least get, crack-a-lacking on it. So I want it to be, watercolor-esque. And I just think it's amazing that she drew this whole book with a toothpick. Now, if we want some other colors in there, you can always just go in there, because I told y'all I'm going to add, let me add some more water on my tray. We're going to add some like yellow ochre and greens. You can take and, you can feather in or wet in other colors if you want. Now I got too much paint though. I want to water that down a little. So if you want some like mottled looking colors in there, you can put a little green in there. You see, it's wet, so it's hard to see. So anyway, just whatever colors you want. If you add a couple of colors together, like kind of just let them shift into each other, like wet into wet. But now remember guys, it's best not to oversaturate your color book pages. Just saying, you oversaturate them and it's going to go through. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of green there and then more of the blue. And just kind of blend that out. So it's not just a flat color. I kind of want it mottled looking. You know what I mean, Bernie? Hope that makes sense. I want a couple shades of blues and greens all mixed together. And again, sometimes I hurry on the show. You don't have to hurry. All right, let's move up. You don't have to hurry. It's always best to put cardstock under anything you do, but it does not go through. It's not going through, Terry, just the watercolor. Now, the water eventually will work its way through the paper if you add too much water and keep rubbing it and rubbing it and rubbing it, then you're going to peel your paper, So you got to be careful. I'm not squeezing out any excess water here. I'm using just the water that I squirted out in my tray right here. See? So I want this really like uneven, if you will, mottled looking. We'll go back in there with some other things, but right now I just want it like real. I know it seems like messy, but that's not the, I want it more, and I want this darker down here. I want it mottled. I'm sure that's the right word. You know, like textury. And it doesn't have to be perfect, guys, because you color in some of these little details with markers, color pencils, you know, you can do all kinds of things. Just don't get, yes, this is the medium one. This is the medium Pentel size. Don't get all, you know, don't freak out, I guess is what everybody get, oh, look, you went over the line, oh my God. It's like, oh no, it's okay, chill, people. Okay, so I'm liking that color on that one. Now I'm going to come over here, and I think I'm going to use more green, more olive green in this one. And again, I am taking a little bit of time going around each gear here, but you don't have to. You could wash over the whole thing and then go back and color those gears in. But I want this to be very, not a wash so much as a textury, like, you know what I'm saying? See how it's not flat. It's not flat. Yeah, the mottled look. Yeah, it's not flat. And I'm trying to do that on purpose. So I'm just kind of leaving little puddles of the paint. See, just little puddles of the paint. Just for something different. We're trying to do all different kinds of things in our color book, and you just pick what you like. Not every technique works for every book. You always have to test your supplies too. Move up a little. Test your supplies, whatever you're going to use. Let's move over here a little bit, guys. I have to be cameraman and painter at the same time. And talking and reading chat and sipping coffee in there somewhere. It's just the the Sakura Koi watercolor set. It's the same one I show y'all all the time. Nothing special. I mean, it was, I don't know, without a coupon, I think it's about $25. With a coupon, you can get 40 and 50% off coupons, I never buy hardly anything without a coupon. Okay, I got a little thick there. Let me get my little Kleenex over here and kind of dab some of that off. Spread it around a little bit. Whoops. So sometimes you can take your time on a color book. Although we don't. It is the Romantic Country, Heather. The Romantic Country, which seems, like I said, I did some tests in the back, and the watercolor really seemed to be the best for this book. Not that we can't do color pencil over the top in areas and shading and other things, but I want to try to do a lot in watercolor in this one. Just kind of like the island, the rainforest escape. I'm trying to do mostly watercolor in that one too. Just to have a couple varieties, that we kind of stick to in certain books. No big deal, but can't say we're going to do the whole book. Oh, thanks, giggles. Yeah, it's a little tricky sometimes, and I'm trying to do more color book close-ups like this so y'all can see. But at the same time, I have to keep, it's one of those times I have to keep moving the camera to get it in right up on it. And some people don't like camera movement. So if you're one of those people, these close-ups are probably not for you, because I'm constantly moving the camera to get like right up on the thing that I'm coloring. But see how it's all not flat. It's not a flat wash. I'm doing that on purpose. See? See? Hi, Suzanne. You're loving the model look. Hey, Carrie. Good morning. Yeah, I am too. I'm just, just a little different, right? Okay, I gotta wet my paints down again. I just spray the whole tray with water here, and just kind of dip in. And I have a couple of these little trays off to the side. So let's go ahead and go with a little yellow ochre. Let's see, I think I'm going to go with yellow ochre in this one, and then a maroon color in that one. So let's go ahead and do that. Try again, it kind of, let's see, the clouds come over there on that side. So the pages aren't even, it's not a double page spread, is what I'm trying to say. It's not a double page spread. I mean, they go together, but it's not like a continuous page in this case. Some pages they are. So just, it's just fun to be able to do some watercolor. Let me scoot up. I bought a new coloring book called, oh, I missed something, Folk Art Angels. I missed it, or, Lindsay, it rolled off before I saw the name of the book. And for some reason, streamers aren't being able to pop out their chat. I saw that Paula was having that issue too, and it happened to me on Saturday and today. I can't pop my chat out, so I can't see the chat, the people that are here at the same time. I can toggle it. I mean, I can go to the window and toggle it out, but I can't just see it automatically who's here. So again, this paper just really is conducive to watercolor, as long as you don't oversaturate and put a hole in your page. If you want some places to have layers, it's best to dry and then go back and add more layers. But right now I'm just making it a modeled look, not flat. Jim Shore Angel color book. Oh, okay. I don't know if I've seen that one or not, Lindsay. You should be getting your color book that you won a week or two ago. You should be getting that in the mail anytime, hopefully. Okay, so there we go. And again, I know it's not perfect along the edges. It's okay. We're going to do some shading, and we're going to do that with markers and other things. So I'm not freaked out about it. I can see it can't write on it. I have to restore. Yeah, yeah, exactly. The same thing for the streamer. You can't, yeah, same thing. All right, so let's come back over on this side again. And now I want some, I think I kind of want to mix me up. I'm just going to show y'all right here. Let's tilt over here. I'm going to get some kind of a maroon color, maybe a little brown, and make it kind of a dark maroony color there. And come back over here. And again, I'm keeping it kind of watery so that the water kind of makes those mottled looking areas. Did you? No, I didn't. Oh, somehow did I see that you got the book, Lindsay? I saw your email in your hair, but I didn't notice that you said you got the book. Okay, well, good. Okay. Sorry, I guess I didn't read the whole part of that email where you said you got the book. Hi, Anonymous. I'm not sure who you are. If you want to tell us your name, thanks for being here. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you got it. Okay. A little bit more paint right in here. I do read all my emails. But sometimes, you know how emails break up into weird paragraphs sometimes, and then you'll have stuff like this was sent from a phone. This was sent, you got all these other notations in there. I just probably missed the paragraph where you say you got your book. I'm glad you got it, Lindsay. Is today Lindsay's birthday? Then she'll be getting a birthday card too. Once I send the birthday cards out, guys, I I forget whose birthday it is when it comes to the actual day, because I send the birthday cards out, a week or two ahead of, well, 2, sometimes 3 weeks ahead of time. So happy birthday, Lindsay. Did I miss it? You got your birthday card too? um, Clara, I've been asking tons of questions on my summer. Yeah, I did one. I've only done one page in the summer, or was it the summer one? Are we talking about the same book? Those hardback ones, the one that has like the daydream and the, or those, that must be a different one. You haven't got it yet? Okay. Well, then I didn't miss you getting your card. Your card should be there anytime too, Lindsay. I don't know if we're talking about the same color book, Clara. If you have any questions, oh, it's not your birthday. Oh my gosh. Who said it was? Terry? I told you guys once I send the cards out, I forget whose birthday it is. Oh, it was Paula that said happy birthday. Oh, it's your birthday, Heather. Oh, okay. Did you get your card, Heather? Did you get your card, Heather? Oh my goodness, guys. So funny. Happy birthday. Let's see. A little bit of watch. That's some of the greens showing through there. Let me go back to the olive green. There's some right behind the little ladder here. It's kind of fun and relaxing to paint areas. I mean, paint in a color book too. I think so, anyway. Just something, different, a little different. Summer Touch. My Summer Touch. I don't think I have that one then, do I? My Summer Touch. Do I have that? It doesn't sound familiar. I'm thinking of Daydream and, those books. Wow, another birthday, Lindsay. It's okay, Paula. I mean, I'm telling you, I'll miss a birthday in a heartbeat if, once the cards are out. Like I said, if I see, that's what I miss Dana. Where's our Dada Dana? She was the one that would remind me every morning. She'd be saying whose birthday it was. And that's how I remembered. Hi, Grammy. Anybody else popping in? Okay, so I'm liking these colors, aren't you guys? Liking those colors. My Summer Touch. Oh, that's her name. Okay. See what I'm saying, guys? So many names. Okay, so now I think on the behind this watch to maybe make it connect with that one, we'll do this yellow ochre. I mean the kind of a yellowy ochre color on this area too, because that's all one watt. One clock part right here. That gear with this one has the numbers on it, so I think I'll go ahead and do the background of this section to coordinate with that. This gear doesn't have another section. I'm confused. You guys confuse me. So fun. Y'all are so fun. And if you're watching the recording, thanks for watching, guys. We're trying our best to stay steady here and color right up on the page. I mean, like inches from the page. Rather than trying to zoom out and zoom in, which only will still get one section. So that's why I thought I would use the, trippy tripod to get right up in its face. He looks like he's staring right at it. It's like a little android right here with me. It's like a little android. The fibs have lost it as usual. I know. All right, so let's move right over here to this section. Again, I'm doing around, this gear comes around behind this one. Oh, there's the duck right there. See it? Somebody told me there's a duck on every page. See, I missed that part of the story. That's probably in the back, under all the little details, that information. No, I haven't read every paragraph in the back. She has a little story on each page. In the back of the book, there's a little like synopsis of that town in the back. Okay, so now we're going to come up here. So, I mean, this would be an awesome book if, you really like to color a full-on story. This would be an awesome one to color for, grandchild or your child, for a keepsake. Make up stories about what's going on in each one. I know it's time-consuming, guys. I know it is. Okay, so there we go. Got that done. Have you used watercolor paints in Johanna? No, I have not, Wooly. I haven't tried. I haven't done much in the Johanna Basford books. Yeah. And it's kind of the same thing with like the bicycle book, for an example, or any books that are so tiny. Those are hard to stream for you guys. That bicycle book, that was a fight to do that page on stream. I mean, there were some things where I just wanted to get in there with a tiny little gel pen, and you can't film it. I mean, maybe there's some professional filmographers, cinematographers that could probably do it, not me. So anyway, all right, now I think I'm going to carry some of that maroon because I want to kind of keep it coordinated. So I'm going to go over here to the behind this one. Let's get a little brown and a little maroon color mixed up there. And it's kind of like in the ditch there. I hope no, I don't think I'm getting it on the next page. I probably need to get up inside there with the blue. I'm not able to hold this down and paint because I'm doing everything one-handed here while moving Trippy along. Yeah, they are. They're a challenge to color those tiny those books that are real. So I want that modeled looking like that. It is a challenge to color those tiny books in and of themselves, let alone try to get them to film it on stream. Because, guys, we don't have HD quality on Ustream. You know, even though it's an HD camera, we can't film in HD for free. We're good to have high resolution. So, you know, I could probably film it on YouTube straight on live. I don't know. You know, just a live show. Um, and have the quality be better. Okay, so let's see. I'm liking that. Now I got to think about what kind of background do I want. Do I want a dark background back there, like behind all the gears? That would probably make it really pop. If I had maybe like a dark, like midnight blue or something. Let's see what I can mix up over here. There's a pretty midnight. Let me add some more water to my palette and trays here. Let me do a little test. Let's see what that looks like. It's not quite as dark as I'd want it to be. I'll have to go more straight on. I think I want this dark blue. Yeah, a lot of people like coloring those tiny, tiny things. I'm more about the shading. You know, I like to, which blue did I use? That one? I'm more about like shading things. And you know, you don't shade those tiny little things. You just barely can color them in, let alone shade them. So I'm more about the shading than the tiny coloring bits. But everybody has their, you know, preferences and what they like. And nothing wrong with any of it. You do what you like. It's supposed to be fun. Now you do need to be careful, and I probably should have something right behind this edge here. You don't want it to seep over onto the other side, although again, you know me, I don't care. I'll just paint it out if it did. But you do want to be careful when you get right up on the edge that the paint doesn't like seep around, the watercolor doesn't seep around to the other side, which you can do, so be careful. Oh, is that what size are you going to do your Inktober's, Janet? Janet, one of the mods here, and an awesome artist, and we wish she was a children's book illustrator because she's that good. I'm not kidding. But she says she doesn't want a full-time job. Yes, there's water in the pen, but I'm really not squeezing it out. I'm just letting whatever flows flow because I have my palette right here that's really wet. See right here how wet that is? And when this starts getting dry, I'm just taking my little spray bottle here and just wetting everything down. Now I made some green there, so we will be going to another section here. So yeah, I'm using a dark blue. I'm using a dark blue here. And I'm just using the water from the bottle, not squeezing it out of the, I'm not squeezing it out of the pen. But the pen is wet. I mean, it stays wet. So anyway, Janet, what size Inktober drawings are you going to do? I don't know what she wants me to say. She did tell us she did tell us before I hit record what her plan is for her Inktober. And if y'all don't know what Inktober is, it's drawing a ink drawing every day for 31 days in October, started by Mr. Jake Parker a few years ago. I did it last year. Last year I did every under the sea things, or anything to do with the sea. I did a lighthouse and a ship's wheel, SpongeBob, but mostly fish is what I did mostly. And this year I'm going to do amphibians and reptiles. So it's the little koi, the Sakura koi. I'll show you I can't show you the cover right now because it's got water in it, but in a minute I will. It's just a little set. Got a Hobby Lobby, I think, a few years ago. Okay, so let's see. I got to kind of follow where we're going here, where the blue goes. I got water in the top of the lid right now, so I can't close it and show you the top. I think somebody posted a link to it a little while ago. And I want it to be like modeled looking. You know, I don't want it to be flat. Did I miss what Janet said? I probably did. It probably scrolled off. Sorry, Janet. I didn't see the size of your Inktober drawings that you're going to do. You promised to show your composition notebooks. Okay, well, it probably won't be today. I have tons of composition books. They're all different. I have glue book composition books. I have, what else do I have? Patterns. I have one that has different patterns. None of them, I can tell you right now, none of them are full from cover to cover except Fluffette. Fluffette, the one I did with everybody's name in it, and Fluffette 2, which is half done. No composition book is 100% full from cover to cover. You'd be disappointed in that, okay? They're not full. Because I like to have books where I can continuously add things to. Like if I wanted to do more patterns, well, I have other books now. But a few years ago when I was doing a lot of things in composition books, a lot, you know, I was using them more. Yeah, well, it's because they're not watered down. Kiggles. I mean, there's water in them, but I'm keeping it saturated. You know, you can get it really light. Let me see. Let me get a little piece of test paper. Here's an envelope right here. Whoops. Sorry, guys. Face plant. Looking for a piece of paper. Hang on. Let me set him right there. Let me get a little piece of paper here to show you the different. I'm going to get a paint on the back. Okay, so here it is, like straight out of the, that's how dark it is, right there. Straight out of the little palette here. That's how dark it is. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and squeeze water out just to show you the different hues you can get. Okay, so I'm going to squeeze it out just so you can see how thinned out you can get it. So you can see how light that can eventually get, even lighter if I just kept going. So you see, you can get it from this dark all lighter and lighter and lighter. And you can even add, where's my other little tray here? You can even add more and more water and get it even more and more watered down. So yeah. Hey, Anita. But anyway, in my composition books, I used to use them a lot. I used to use composition books a lot for everything, including the Fluffette. If y'all been here long enough, y'all know what Fluffette is. Okay, let's go over here. And so that one is a little bit more dark in there. Just throw a little bit more paint on there. And, you know, I gotta say, guys, I mean, I've done a few watercolor, you know, well, I would say more than a few. I've done some watercoloring in my day, but it's not my forte. It's not my favorite thing. What's it between cheap watercolor and expensive? The the saturation, the brightness, what do you want to call it? The brightness, the pigmentation is brighter and then better cut watercolors. And, you know, it depends on how big of an area, you know, it depends on what you're going to do, guys. You know, I am not a professional watercolor person. Like I said, I have done my share. Let's see, that gear comes up behind his leg there, and it would be blue right here. My fair share of watercolor paintings over the years. but it's just not my favorite. It's not my favorite thing. I'm going to add some more squirts of water to my palette here. It's just not my favorite thing. I like color pencils. That's my favorite thing. So I'm not as proficient in watercolors as, I mean, trust me, if you want to see some great watercolors, go look at Steve Mitchell. Again, I always forget the name of his channel. If Jean's here, she can tell you the name of his channel. I have it bookmarked, so I have Steve. In my favorites, I have Steve. I forget the name of his channel and stuff like that, you know. So, but Steve Mitchell, and he did a Strathmore watercolor series last series of Strathmore classes. They're free classes. You can just sign up at Strathmore. No, they're not paying me to say that. I'm just just telling you, they're good classes. And he did a watercolor series. And so if you really want the mind of watercolor, thank you, Jean has to tell me every time. The mind of watercolor. Jean really likes him too. We all do. He's an awesome guy too. And I think Jean and I have been following him since he started his YouTube channel. But I always forget the name of the channel. But that's it. The Mind of Watercolor, Steve Mitchell. So, yeah. So what I'm saying is if you want more really professional watercolor tips and techniques, I'm just showing you how to use it in a color book. I have shown you my boot. I did a painting, a boot, you know, my mother-in-law's husband. I did a painting years ago of his old boots. And when he passed away, well, my mother-in-law kept it, you know, for a while. Then she asked if I wanted it back after he passed away. So she gave me the painting back. So I have it in my hallway here. I'll show it to y'all in a second. Let me finish this. So, but I just don't do a lot of watercolor because I'm so busy, you know, loving my color pencils. I think there's a little bit of a band going around the yellow ochre there. This wouldn't be blue. Okay, let's add a little bit more saturation. Anyway, guys, but I'll tell you, you know, anything I can help you with, but trust me, I'm not a professional watercolorist. I'm a watercolor hobbyist. You like the Brad Boots? Hey, Julie Topaz, by the way. Okay, so there we go. So we got I think this needs a little bit, I want this a little darker too. I really want the background to be really quite dark without being pure, you know, without being black. So that needs to be a little darker. Maybe a little darker down here. Although I want it to have that mottled look. But I want it to still be very dark. So yeah. Okay. So give old Steve Mitchell the Mind of Watercolor. Is it the Mind of Watercoloring? Well, you can find it if you put that in there. Steve Mitchell, the Mind of Watercolor. Yeah, he's an awesome one to follow. Okay, so let's stand up a little trippy, a little better so he doesn't fall over. And yeah, so that's looking pretty good so far. I'm liking that. Let me clean off my brush. And Kleenex is just squeezing some water in and off on the Kleenex. For whatever reason, the Kleenex just really works quick. Okay, so let me get a sip of coffee here, guys. Do you have any questions? These acrylic, if you want to paint directly on collage, I only use, I say only. Most of my collage, the bulk of my collages is acrylic paint. Yes, acrylic paint is my paint of choice for mixed media. Okay. And there's a couple reasons why. When you use a water-based medium, whether it be watercolor, Neocolor 2, any kind of water-based dilutions, if you try to go over it with other things, it'll smear. Like I can't just paint over this without smearing. Where acrylic paint doesn't smear. Once acrylic paint's dry, it's a plastic. It's not going to move. It's not going to move. Where water-based materials will move when you go over them, unless you seal them and spray. And I don't do all that. I just don't. I find ways around that. Thanks, guys. Let me show you that painting real quick. And it is under glass, so it will probably get a bit of a glare, but I'll see what I can do. It's kind of large here. Let me lift up. So here's the painting, and this is Brad's boots, and it's all watercolor. And these were Brad's work boots when he worked in oil fields. And I'm trying to keep the glare off and still get close up. It's not going to let's tilt it up a little. There we go. So you can see that's all watercolor. And I did this in 1993. So this is 23 years ago. Has it been that long? Dang. So yeah, I did this in 1993. I'll try to hold it steady. I did the Journaling by 5 challenge. This is Shannon Green, but I made ATC cards out of them and sent them all to Shannon. Yeah, so I did them a little bit different. I did the Journaling by 5 challenge and then sent all the cards to Shannon. So anyway, so I think you can kind of see like the reflections of the boots. See the shoelace, the shadow of the shoelace. So, and it's a little, there's the real color. It's wanting to flash out, but that's a better representation of the color right there. If I get back on it, it's, flashes out. So anyway, this was a gift for Brad's birthday in 1993. Let me just set that aside. So, thanks, guys. But again, I don't do watercolor all the time. I do color pencil. My portrait work, all my portraits are done, color pencil. That's my thing. Journaling by 5 on my. Yeah, a lot of people did the Journaling by 5 challenge. And I think now they're doing more the mixed media morsels by Cat Hand. Yeah. Cat Hand's, invented or started the mixed media morsels, MMM, and a lot of people are doing that mixed media challenge. Yeah. There's so many out there, guys. If you can't find something to inspire you to get crack-a-lackin', I don't know. You're just not looking hard enough. Okay, so let's see now what the next thing. Oh, and I am wearing one of my Boo bracelets. Oh, let me pull my sleeve up here. These beads are paper beads made by Boo, my granddaughter. She makes these paper beads. There, and it's just strung on some leatherette or whatever. So yeah, she makes these awesome little paper beads. I'm just wearing it today for, I don't wear anything on my right hand because it gets in my way. It gets in my way of, my jewelry is my nail polish. Today we have on gold. Oh, I always try to show the color I'm wearing. This is today's polish. Pure Ice. And what's the number on it? Jaguar. Terry. It's called Jaguar. Well, that's the color I'm wearing today. Okay. All right, so let's see. I think I'll just do the little boy here. We'll go ahead and color him in. Thanks, Terry. Yeah. Yeah, Boo does awesome jewelry. Remember a couple weeks ago we went out and helped her paint her room. So I'm going to use like a sienna color. That's too much. Let me squeeze some out. Um, went out and repainted her room a pretty gray color with a bright white trim. And so redoes her room about once a year. And she did it, she has a new station, she has stations. You know, she has a makeup station, she has a beading station, she has a crafting, she has like a couple stations for crafting. One's for beading. I'm trying to think, she has and I said makeup. What else does she have? Anyway, Denise did a little FaceTime with me over the weekend, let me see around her room. It was fun. I read Journal Spilling by Dennis Lodge. Yeah, I got that book. Yeah, Journal Spilling. Yeah, it's one of those books. You know, it's kind of like my Sabrina Ward Harrison. Sabrina Ward Harrison. I have all her books. I'm not gonna put a stitch of paint or pencil in those. They're like eye candy for me. You know, I'm not gonna work in them. But if you need inspiration, I'll try to show those to you again. It's been a while since I showed the Sabrina Ward Harrison. Now I'm thinking he has like these are going to be like it's the vintagey looking trousers, and I'm letting that kind of sit so I can do that a lighter shade right over the pockets. But he's probably got these stockings on. Let's see. Let's kind of make a gray. Let's make it kind of a gray color here for the stockings. That's too purple. Just a little bit more. There we go. You know, the stockings, like little kids, like, you know, they would wear their stockings and the short knickers, or no, I don't think they're called knickers. Knickers are underwear, aren't they? Anyway. Okay, Carol Renee. And then I think I'll have another shade of brown for the shoes. Whoops, too much paint. Another shade of brown for the shoes, the heels there, the bottom, and something like that. And then his suspenders, the same thing. We'll do them kind of with maybe just, and you can do this stuff with pencil, guys. You don't have to get in here with these, unless you just want to. Those tiny little areas with your paintbrush. Are we whistling yet? No whistling, Natasha. I can't whistle. I told y'all, this is as loud as I can whistle. It was enough to set the keychain off, though. It was enough to set the keychain off, but I don't know. I didn't know how, you know, that would. Okay, so let's see what kind of shirt do I want. Maybe just like a cream color. I don't know, like a little bit of a. Well, let's do his hands here. It looks like he's dusting. See, he's like the chimney sweep of clock towers. See, he's got his little duster there. I sell my work all the time. I sell my portraits. Every week. I try to anyway. Yeah. Where's his little hand? It must be right there. So that might be part of his shirt there. Okay. Not that that matters that much, but okay, let's make him a little blonde here. Because it'll show up. There we go. Now let's see. What color? Do I want to maybe a light blue shirt, almost like it's white, but kind of got shadows on it. It might be kind of, I don't want to say dirty, but I'm sure if he's climbing watchtowers, it would be. So I want it to be a white shirt with just a little bit of shadow. like that. Yeah, I'm adding a little bit of blue to it, Terry, but I kind of really wanted it to be kind of like a white shirt that's a little bit either dirty or in shadow. All right, now let me go back to the pockets. This one a little bit of wash over the pockets, just because I don't want to lose the detail. So they can just have a little bit of something like that. So I'm thinking this should be a little bit of olive green right behind. And again, you could get in here with pencils for some of this tiny bits. If you miss something or it's just really tiny. I'm just trying to do as much as I can. Hey, Silver, anybody else popping in? Okay, so let's see what we got so far. See how it's modeled looking? I want that effect. I want that to be model-y looking, not flat. We're going to go in there with pencil detail on some of the tinier stuff and shading. All right, let's see. I think I'm going to go back again with the green, just like we have 2 areas of the ochre on this big one. I'm going to go in here and get in here with the olive green on this gear. And I don't know if I want them like a dark blue with black shading on the actual gears. And because that would just really make it pop. Not like solid, necessarily solid black, but like shaded, you know, shaded black to make the colors really pop out. I think that's what we might do with color pencil. Have to get your pencil sharp. I'm going to get right up on here again, guys. I'm trying to stay right up on it for you. I just think it's easier to get right up on something like this rather than trying to zoom in and zoom out and refocus and zoom in and zoom out and refocus when I can just take, you know, put the camera on trippy here and just move it around to wherever I need it to be. I don't know. I know it's a lot of movement, and it might be a little too much movement for some people. Bye, Kiggles! But, you know, I think it's just easier to get right up on things that way. All right, I'm thinking I might want some, let's go back down here with the green, olive green too. Kind of like a little bit more on this one. So we have it kind of coordinated. And again, I'm trying to see how far to jam my brush back there in the ditch. So y'all have to tell me if y'all, you know, think that this is easier to see detail when I have the camera in hand. So I can move it around and get right up on everything. I don't know. It's a test. This is a test of the Inky Well broadcasting. You know, just testing to see if this is a good angle and a good solution to seeing everything really close up. Okay, now, I think I need to get my blue going here just a little bit, just enough to get in the ditch, right in there, on the top and the bottom. Okay. It's easier to see. I think so. I like the camera work better than all the zooming in and out. Yeah, because I have to keep refocusing when I zoom in and out. When the camera's this close, I mean, it's literally probably 3 inches. We're 3 inches from the paper, maybe 4. It's right up on it. But then I can get literally right up on it, you know? Okay, so I think I'll do the little ladder, and it's wood. Let's get a different shade of brown. Let's get some sienna and some darker brown here. Let's see if that'll work. Yeah. A little less paint so I can Yes, I'm holding the camera with my other hand. I sure am, Bonnie. On my trippy tripod, my new tripod with the big legs. I am holding it with that hand. That's why I said I'm doing all this with one hand, guys. The tripod legs are thick and sturdier. You know, I showed you the picture. So I got a good grip on it, and as long as I keep the legs touching the table, it's not going to move around. But what the advantage is I can pick it up, and I can go over here. I can pick it up, and I can go over here. I can pick it up, and I can go over here. You see? I can't do all that when it's attached to the stick. Yeah, this one, well, I showed y'all a picture. Let me splay his little legs a little so he doesn't face plant. Because he'll face plant, guys. Where's my phone? What did I do? Oh, I took the phone in the other room. Good grief. Hang on. So let me find the pictures here. I showed the picture last week. I'll show it again. I think I kept it. Yeah, here it is. So this is what we're on right now. This. Now, the camera right here can flip up, and you know, the camera arm itself can adjust too. But this is what we're on right here. And these legs, let's see if I can put one out here in front of you. See how thick they are? That's what the legs are, and they bend. This is all, every one of these bends. So it's a thick tripod, as opposed to the other one that I use hanging. See, I got to be careful not to knock you over. As opposed to this little one. You can see how skinny these little legs are on this one. See the difference between that and this? There's a size difference in the tripod legs. See? So, yeah. So what I do is I just hold on, because he's got the three legs. I call him Trippy because we keep tripping. Tripping over him. But I've got the legs two, and right here in the front, and then the one in the back I'm like anchoring myself to. I'm holding on to the back one. So I can kind of adjust it like this. My camera is the C930E HD, but it's not HD on Ustream. Remember, it's not HD on Ustream. It's the same one I've used for probably 3 years now. And it's for Ustream, it's fine. Again, it's an HD camera, but we don't get HD on Ustream. So let's get back to work. Let's see here what else I want to do. Looking it over. I'm looking at the gears. I know I want to color these in with pencil, the little details, but I think I want around this gear to be, let's go back to the maroony color and do in here. Yes, if y'all have any questions, just put them in caps. I try my best to answer as much as I can. And again, I'm trying to keep it from being flat, so I'm kind of letting it kind of the paint kind of puddle and pool, so that it won't be a flat color. I want it to be modelly looking. All right, I got to decide on these big gears here, and the back of this gear. I think I'll go ahead and add some not that. I think I want this one to have some turquoise in it too. I'm going to carry the turquoise around. Let me clean my brush off. Let me get some turquoise color going here on a clean spot on my palette. A little bit more green in it. Ooh, probably right in there. So I'm just going to mix up some turquoise. Got to add some more water to my tray. Let's test that right there. Yeah, there we go. I collected all of our journaling idea according to your idea journal. Yeah, that's, everybody needs an idea journal. Whether you keep it in a composition book, a 3-ring binder, a Molly, someplace, even if it's just Post-it notes. You need to write down any ideas that you have or want to remember, because you'll forget. I don't care how good your memory is. You're never going to remember every idea you see in even one day. There's so much you can learn from just writing things down, just the act of writing it down. So, okay. Never mind the memory to remember. Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead and keep going with some of the turquoise in different areas. Because the tiny little gears and those are going to be done with color pencil or markers. Maybe both. Maybe some watercolor markers, like clear brush, or just the kids' Crayola, which will be flat. But these little areas like this, guys, some, unless you're going to shade it with some pencil, some of these tiny little areas, it's very hard to shade anyway. Can you show the picture of Trippy again? Yes, I will. You see how that picture, well, you're not going to be able to focus on that, but you can wrap his legs around a tree because they're all flexible. So this is what I'm holding. And I'm holding the back leg, and then he's filming right here, like that, Hey, DeMonte, thanks again for the card and the stamps. I showed it at the beginning of the show. All right, now, see, I think now I'm going to have to refocus my camera because that flashed my camera out. Let me refocus, guys, because I've kind of messed it up by doing that. Go into my settings here and autofocus again, just for a second. See how that is. It's better, I think. I don't want to get it too dark. There we go. See, when my hand's in there, it lightens it up. So, yeah. But that's better color now, since I refocused it. Okay, so let's see. Let's come down here, back down to the teal and the turquoisey colors. Oh, I got to finish the ladder. Somehow I got sidetracked on that. And I wanted this all kind of bright. I just wanted it brighter than the, grays and browns and gear colors. I figured, it's a magical world that she's created. And by the way, if you just joined us, she drew this whole book with toothpicks. I think she said 700. She drew the whole book with toothpicks and ink. I read the little story at the beginning, so if you missed it, just go back at the very beginning and see the story of her doing that. All right, let's go back to some brown here. Go back down to the ladder. Too much paint. Change some shades of brown here. few shades of brown on the ladder. Was it you? Aren't you Diane DeMonte? Are you not Diane? Do I have another? I thought you were Diane, and I'm sorry. Another Diane sent it to me. I thought it was you, DeMonte. I asked last week because I wasn't sure either. And everybody said you were Diane, so thank you, whichever Diane sent me the Star Trek stamps. I feel a sneeze. Hey, Rebecca. Hang on, guys. I feel a sneeze. Sorry. Yeah, but it's a different Diane then? A different Diane sent me these? Star Trek postage stamps? All my stamps and stencils? You're asking for a long show there, aren't you, Anonymous? Or Claire? Yeah. Oh my gosh. I have buckets of stamps, and I demounted most of them a few years ago. All my woodblock stamps, except for a few that I really treasure as a woodblock. Almost all my woodblock stamps I have unmounted. I say a lot, but I still have probably quite a few on wood. But I took them all off of the wood blocks and put them in page protectors on cardstock, so I can flip through my stamps. But yeah, I showed them a couple years ago because I was giving a lot of them away. And so okay, I think I'm going to go back with the red here, the maroony color. Let's see if I got that darker. Yeah. Because I was giving a lot of them away because I wasn't using them. So I did show a lot of them a couple years ago. I don't know if it's still recorded or not. I mean, I don't know if I did that on YouTube or just Ustream, because it's been a while, so it could have been before I started uploading to YouTube. But yeah, got tons of stamps. I'm not a good stamper. Just ask Rach. Rach0102. Oh, I forget her number. She just raged to me. Our friend Rachel. Always, because she's such a good stamper, and she can stamp like it looks like not even stamped. So I always tease myself that don't tell Rach that I'm stamping, because she's so good at it. So can you see how it's kind of mottled looking there? Let's get some light and dark in there. Not the right Diane. Okay. All right, I'll have to look up and see if I have an email for the Diane that did send those to me. Oh, sorry, guys. If you send me email, tell me your nickname, because, I mean, I know I should remember everybody, but I don't. I don't remember everybody's real names, unless I've known you for years and years, like Julie. I know her last name's not Topaz. There's so many, like, I'm getting to know the Teresas, their real names versus their Teresa name on stream, because there's so many. Carols too. I got some Carols confused a few weeks ago because there's so many. Okay, I got too much water on there. Dab that off. Love stamps and stencils. I haven't seen that video. Okay, it may not be on YouTube then. It might have been before I was uploading. When I did all the stamps that I was giving away. I thought it was on YouTube, but maybe not. And I don't have near as many stencils as most of the girls do. I don't use stencils as much. So I don't really have, I have a bucket full, a pack full of stencils. but I don't have as many as some people do. And one of the things now, I very rarely buy stencils. I do need to buy some of Jean's cut files. Because I have a Cameo, I can cut my own. I don't buy them. I don't buy, I mean, like I said, I'll buy Jean's cut file ones when I get around to, when I get around to it, I want to buy Jean's cut files. But, and put links in there if you want, Jean, or anybody. So I don't buy stencils anymore. It has to be something really, that really catches my eye to buy a stencil, because I can cut my own on the Cameo. Okay, so I'm liking that. I think I need a little, I want to go ahead and go some up here a little bit. I'm just taking my time, guys, and, it is getting long. I'm going to go 2 hours, and then I'm going to stop on this. Yep, it's all drawn with a toothpick. Yes, I need your stencils, Jean. Put your link in, Jean, to your stencils. Okay, so let's see. Down here, I think I want this part of this. So I'll go ahead and do down here that same color, because this is all like one gear here. Again, it's best if you don't just do like I'm doing here and flick off the edge, because some of this paint, if you're not careful, if it's oversaturated, it's going to run under the page to the next page. So, just be aware. I might even be doing it myself, but don't worry about it. I just paint over everything if I don't like it. So. Go back over here. Maybe you could show. Oh, I have lots of videos on Cameo. I keep wanting to say Carla, but it's, how do you say your name again, Anonymous? I keep wanting to say Carla, and it's not Carla. I have lots of videos. Not tons, but I have quite a few on my Cameo. Yeah. I have playlists, guys. If you look in my playlist, okay, that gear goes to this one. That's a different one. I have lots of playlists, probably 10 or 15 different playlists. One on color books, mixed media, art inspiration, even a scrapbook one, which, I don't really do much with, but I have tons of playlists. So just look under my playlist for the different topics, guys. Okay, so let's see. Now we got to go over here to this little gear. And this little one down here, I think I'm going to do it in the yellow ochre to carry that over that away too. Just to have that color right down there. Kind of spread the colors around the page. Okay, so let's see. See what we can do with this one. Clara. Okay, Clara. Okay. Hey, Vicki S. Marie, anybody else I missed? Okay, let's see, what color do I want those to be? I think I'm going to go with a darker green. Let's go with, I'm going to darken up the olive with some blue and make this, let's see, now it might be too, let me get a little test thing here. It might be too dark. I had a test sheet here, where'd it go? It's too purple, got too much. Need more green in it. There we go. Okay. I wanted a dark olive green. Thanks, Jean. Yeah, Jean just put in a link to great silhouette cameo videos, and it is. And she said, and Jean says she does some Cricut ones as well, and it's on YouTube, and it's called Clever Someday. So if you're watching the recording, I'm not putting a link or anything, but it's called Clever Someday on YouTube. So look for that. Jean just put the link for those that are in the chat for Cameo tutorials and things. You like my color combinations? Thanks. There's a little duck. I'm trying to go around there. Somebody said that she has a duck on every page, and I'm sure that information is in the back of the book, which I've not read every story in the back. I think YouTube has bigger auditory. I don't know what you mean. So I just want to get this nice dark, just darker than that. You know, it's not that much darker, but a little bit darker. Get it a little bit more. My biggest tip on Cameo, remember to put your mat in. Remember to put your paper on your mat. Right, Carrie? Carrie's still here. I can't see the chat list because it's not popping out for me. So I don't know who all's here. So thanks for being here if you're here, because I don't have the pop-out chat where I can see your names. I have to toggle it, and I'm working one-handed here as it is. Oh, a bigger audience for viewers. More viewers. Oh, yes, of course there's more viewers on YouTube. There's millions of viewers on YouTube. But this is where we potty. Well, that sounded like potty. Party. This is where we party. This is where we party. Art party here. So we can talk to each other. Because, you know, if you're watching this recording, again, guys, if you're new, this is a live show on Ustream with a live chat. Feel free to come over. It's free. Feel free to stop by anytime. I stream every Monday, most Wednesdays, and some Fridays, and the occasional, like last Saturday, impromptu streams, live streams with live people. And I don't edit anything out. What you see on YouTube is what you get. It's just I upload directly the show that we do here. It goes directly to YouTube. So there's no editing or anything like that. It's exactly what we see here, except you can't see the chat on YouTube. Yeah, where's the art potty? Terry. Okay, so I think I'm going to go over here on this and also let's get a nice gray, that nice green gray over here. And again, the smaller details, those are going to be with color pencil or marker. Haven't decided yet. But I'm going to stop the recording here in a minute and start another one. Because we are at, where are we at? Almost 2 hours? I can't see it. What are we at? An hour and a half? Let me move my camera so I can see the, yeah, we're at an hour and 40 minutes. So we'll go a few more minutes before I start another part. So don't get too long. They're long as it is. How do you download video to Ustream? There's in your Ustream, are you on Ustream? Keep wanting to say Carla. Are you on Ustream? So I can explain it to you if you are. If you're not on Ustream, then it's not going to make any sense. Okay, so let's look up here. I think I want, I need another red color in the, because it would just kind of tie it all the way around. I think I'm going to do the compass rose with some of that burgundy in it too. Clara, let me write that down. When it's an anonymous person, trying to remember a name is really frustrating. Clara and not Carla. Okay, I don't, what's your Ustream name? Anonymous, Clara. Well, anyway, in your dashboard, there's a drop down. Like, do you save your videos to your computer? There's a tab. It says upload to YouTube. Thanks, Busy. Busy, I think you have an email to me as well. I haven't had a time to answer you yet. Her name is always going to change, do you? Yeah, I know, but she can sign in as Clara. She can change her name to her real name. I mean, not right now, but yeah, but make you a name, Anonymous. I mean, I know you can't do it right now. I mean, I know that, guys. Okay, so let's get back in here. Do the compass rose. Hey, LBO. But anyway, there's a tab in your Ustream dashboard that you upload to YouTube. It says it, upload to YouTube. Yeah. Well, that's why I was asking you if you stream, because I knew it would be confusing if you didn't. Yeah, you're new to Ustream. Yeah. But there's a tab in there. Yeah, I know, Jean. I know. So I just want a little bit of a maroony red or something over here on the compass rose too. So I hope y'all kind of got some ideas using watercolor in the romantic coloring book, romantic country coloring book. Whoops. I'm looking around Trippy's head. Trippy's head's in front of me. Having a look around Trippy. Okay. I think, what else do I want to do here? I think I'll do these points too. Really, I could probably be doing these tinier areas in color pencil. But I'm trying to do as much as I can in watercolor just because I'm already doing it. Know what I mean, Vern? I can't get to that one anyway. Okay. Oh, I forgot this gear right here in green. Let's go back to the olive color. Just to get the last gear colored in with the watercolor. I'm going to go in with a little pencil. We'll do that on the next segment. Okay, and I'm gonna only be here till probably about 12:30, guys. Jean's coming on early today because she has something to do later and can't stream at 4. So I told her that I would stop at about 12:30 or 1 so she can go ahead and do a stream today. Not that we ever have to, wait on any, but we respect each other's time. And so we just try not to step on each other because we all watch each other all the time. That's just the way we roll. What will I do with it? I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm sorry, I'm not following. What am I going to do with it? It's a storybook one, so this is one of the books that I won't take apart. A lot of times in a color book, I'll cut things out, or I'll tear the page out and put it in my color book notebook. But some books are like this one, they kind of have to go together. So, yeah. So, I won't do anything with it. I'm showing you guys, this is the purpose of it, showing you guys. Other than fun for me and enjoying coloring, I love coloring. Showing you guys, that's my purpose. Well, I'm making it modeled on purpose. See how it's all not flat? I'm doing that on purpose. No, I'm not cutting this book up. Yeah, because if you missed at the beginning, this is a romantic country, a fantasy coloring book. It's a whole story. It's a whole story of her world. And I did a flip at the beginning, so you can watch it again at the beginning. It's a whole book of her world. Okay, let's see. What do I want to do with these things here? Let me back out and see what colors I might want to put down there. Not sure. Maybe some lighter. I think I'll go with the ochre over here too. I think I'll go with the lighter ochre on these little bits, just to have it a little bit different. There we go. Yeah, some books are made for cutting up for me. I'll cut them up and put them in my art journal and collage mixed medias and things. And then some are just like stories all in themselves. And you just, you can't really cut out it's like cutting a page out of a story. It doesn't tell anything when you cut it out. So, yeah. Yeah, this book is, I think it's 10 by 10. Or maybe it's 9 by 9. It's a square book. Yeah, I'm on a close-up. I'm literally 3 to 4 inches away from the page. So everything looks like right here, but usually my camera is like up here. Okay, that's usually how, and then I'm having to zoom in with the software. So you can see there's how big it is. But with my little trippy, I can get right up on it so y'all can see really well. It's watercolor LBO. I'm using my watercolor set right here. Spray bottle of water, keeping it wet, my water brush, and yeah. Okay, I think I'm pretty much done with all the watercoloring. I think I'm done with the watercoloring part. So I think I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to stop this segment, and we will be back. I'll do another part. So I'll just break this up into 2 parts. And so that it's not, a complete 3 hours. I'll do it in a couple hours. So, because we're already at 1 hour and 45 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and save this one. So thanks, guys, for being here. I'm not leaving you guys in chat. I'm just going to start a new recording. So if you're watching the recording, thanks for being here. And I hope you're enjoying this romantic country. Again, it's by Eriy, and she drew everything in this book with toothpicks. She said it took her 700 toothpicks to draw this whole book. And she drew the whole thing with toothpicks. So, yeah. Okay, guys, I'll be right back. Hang on. Before you begin, let me briefly explain that the lines that make up the images in this book, all the images in this book were drawn with a toothpick. It was about 8 years ago that I purchased ink for the first time, but I had carelessly forgotten to buy a dip pen. This incident originally got me started using a toothpick for drawing. Compared to a regular pen, I found that drawing with a toothpick brought about different degrees of thicknesses in my lines and enabled me to draw more warmly and tastefully. Since then, the toothpick has become my favorite drawing tool. I used approximately 700 toothpicks to draw the images in this book. In order to create your own original story while coloring, feel free to follow your imagination and write a story or add lines with your own toothpick. In this way, you'll be able to create your own one-of-a-kind picture book. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed coloring. Now let us have some fun. Eriy. So that is the story of how she started drawing with a toothpick. And again, guys, I will be adjusting the camera, because look, when I put my hand in there, it's going to lighten up. So, and we're going to be using watercolor. All right, so let's get started. Let's find, do I want to start at the beginning? Oh, and then she also has a whole story here. I'm not going to read this, but she has a story about her. Maybe throughout, we might read a little bit, but let me just read the first paragraph. Somewhere in the world, there's a small country that doesn't even exist on maps. It's surrounded by the richness of nature, beautiful forests, and expansive lakes. There are also old townscapes and farm villages where time seems to stand still. This land will surely leave you with a memorable impression of its various unique buildings and majestic castles. Kokot is the name of the magical land. And then she goes on to talk about the different areas of it. She starts here with a map, overview of a map. Again, guys, it's going to be a little tricky on the white paper. So we're, Didi, you need to try drawing. Yeah, no, not today all the time, but, Okay, here we go. Welcome everybody to coffee. Where is it? Here we go. Coffee. I need a refill and art in the morning. Just saying a little good morning to everybody that's here. I am on my little trippy tripod so I can get right up on our color book page today. We're going to work in Romantic Country at least for about an hour and a half. We'll see how it goes. We might work on something else afterward, but right now I've got my, loose, my camera's, he's on the loose. Trippy's on the loose. So I can get right up on the picture if I need to. So that's what we're working with today, or well, at least this segment. So real quick, I do have some happy mail from DeMonte. I showed it the Saturday. I did a special impromptu on Saturday. And she sent me a nice card here. She sent me a nice card and a nice little note thanking us for the friendship and the YouTube and the Ustream, and and she also said that she loved the card, but she didn't know it was a birthday card, so she just whited out the birthday part. I love the card because look, it's a watercolor palette. It's a little watercolor palette and brushes. I love it. I do. And then she also sent me, well, I think she's really sending it to Hubs, but, I love me some Star Trek. We both love Star Trek. We watched the Star Trek, well, we had the Star Trek marathons on over the last few days. They've been on, the old original ones. And so we just had them on a lot over the weekend. And so we watched some of those. But anyway, she sent me the Star Trek commemorative stamps. And I told her I may not give these to Hubster. Well, you know what? I might keep some of them. I might keep half and give him half. So aren't those cool, guys? Look. So thank you to Monty for that. I loved it. Hey, Juju, anybody else popping in? Again, I know the chat has been a little bit of a pain. We're going to just say, no toothpick drawing for me today. We'll be coloring. Thanks, though. And then here is a little bit more of the detailed map. She's got a compass rose here and all her world, the little map. Here, I'm just trying to, I have my camera on my trippy tripod so I can get up close and personal. And then here's the south part of her world. So just to give you a little bit of a tour. Chapter 1, Hill and Town Overlooking a Clock Tower. So I don't know if I want to start on the first page or if I want to, just skip to a page I like. I haven't, I've only done some tests in the back just to see what supply worked the best on it. And I found just doing some different color samples in the back was that watercolors worked really well on here. Now, I haven't done a full-on wash. It will probably buckle. Most books would if you did a whole page of wash like we did in the Imagimorphia. But like in the Imagimorphia, you can use acrylic paints and other things to flatten it out with large areas of acrylic paint with no water in it. And also, when you use color pencil on top of your washes, that flattens it out as well. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of hold the camera back just a little, just so you can see a little. No, that's not going to work because I'm purposefully zoomed in, so I can't really hold it too far back. So you can see, but it's all a whole world of castles, villages. Of course, I love this one with the clock tower and the inside of the clock tower, the gears and all. We might start with this one. We tease my father-in-law that he can fix anything with a toothpick and a paper clip. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So, I don't know. I'm on those. So, okay, so on to Romantic Country by Eriy. And it's Kokot, I think is the name of her world, The Land of Beautiful Towering Castles, a fantasy coloring book. Now, I'm going to say again that one of the things about her book is she drew it all with a toothpick. So I'm going to read her little story here. It has a cover like this, has a sleeve over it, and then it's like a craft paper. Hopefully I don't do a face plant on you guys with Trippy here. If he goes falling forward, I don't want to do a face plant on you. I'm going to try to lean into Trippy. And let me know if I sound really loud, guys, because I am real close up to the microphone, so I don't want to get too loud. Maybe I'll even turn it down just a little bit so I'm not yelling at you guys. So thanks everybody for being here. Okay, so again, it's got like a craft color paper. I don't know what I'm going to do with the cover right now. All right, so her story, it talks a little bit about the story, but let me read what she says here. Okay, I'm going to read what she says here. When I was a child, I loved to fantasize about imaginary land, along with many cute animals and abundant plants. It had a magnificent candle where a princess lived, and a forest where a witch dwelled. Maybe I need to get in my fairy tale reading mode. People lived a truly pleasant life there. In order to imagine such things, I used to gaze at a picture I drew that replicated that fictional world. This book is packed with images of that fantasy land of mine, which I named Kokot. I think that's how she pronounces it. Colored pencils, rollerball pens, colored inks, watercolors. Choose your favorite coloring material, and using a variety of hues, enjoy adding color to your land. Have fun creating your own special romantic country. And then over here, I'm not expecting y'all to be able to read this, guys. I'm just, try to roll with it. So yeah, I'm going to try to keep my cord out of the way. Maybe I should put a little piece of tape on his little foot. So I tape the cord down so it's not getting in my way. The camera cord right here, so I'm not, there we go. I'll just put a little bit on his foot. See, I'll just tape his little foot up right there. Okay, so we're going to work today in the romantic country. And again, I'm on the little trippy tripod, which is, so I can move it and adjust it right up on my page, which is what I want to do so we can see tiny, details while we're coloring. So what I want to do in romantic country, first I'm going to read something about the book. And then we're going to use watercolors. I'm going to use okay, that's bugging me. Why is that not sticking there? Let's fix that because it's going to be loose. Watercolors, and I just use this little koi watercolor set. Had it for I don't know how long. And I don't watercolor a lot, but I've been watercoloring more in my color books, especially certain books. So I did some tests in the back of this book to see what really worked, and I found that the watercolor really worked well in this book. But, let me preface it by saying it's like anything else. You want to test because every book is different. Every paper is different, the feel of it and everything like that, but also how much you can get it wet. I never mind my pages buckling some, like we did a whole day on Saturday of washes in the Imagimorphia. And the next thing I want to do in that is all the backgrounds. I want to do the acrylic paint, not the washing, but the painting of the backgrounds. That's what I want to do next in it. And a lot of them will probably be black. Not all of them will, but a fair amount of the backgrounds will be black. So I probably won't, do that on a stream because y'all probably just don't want to see me just paint black backgrounds for hours and hours. So, but when I start working on the actual images, the shading of the things that we washed on Saturday, then I'll do video